So, Berend, you are the COO at Advercharge, a very innovative startup doing electrical charging stations. What was your inspiration to use augmented reality?
Hi, Manuel. Thank you for inviting me today for this interview. Yes, it's correct. We have electrical charging stations for EV vehicles, and basically, it's even though EV has been around for quite some time, the topic of charging stations is still a very complicated one. It is a topic that needs a lot of explanation, and the nature of our business is that we, as Advercharge, place charging station with an integrated digital display, so for advertisement, on commercial parking lots, to explain it briefly. So if the topic of charging stations by itself was not complicated enough yet, then you add another business model to it, which is digital advertising. So even though you could say, hey, we have a charging station with an integrated advertisement display, it could be sounding very easy. However, considering the amount of explanation we all of the time needed to do with all our different customers, it really meant that we were looking for ways to visualize our charging station, to give the people a better idea of what it actually looks like, and for them to be able to imagine what it looks like. So a part of obviously pictures of our locations, like photorealistic pictures of our charging stations on commercial sites. It was an enticing idea to be able to visualize the charging station in the space of our potential site partners, potential investors, other stakeholders. And that's how we got to the point that we came across your solution by visualizing products in augmented reality, which made it easy for us. We didn't need to send a charging station to the other end of the world for the person to be able to see it, but we can just send a QR code. They scan it, they place it in their room, on their parking lot even, and directly have an idea how it looks like, even in the smallest detail, which is very, very helpful in our sales process.
That is an absolutely great use case, I think, especially in point of sales. Question, do you mainly use it as a sales rep then, or do your clients themselves place the products virtually? How does it work?
The application in our case is a little bit different, I guess, because in most of the cases we are the owner of the charging station. So we install the charging station on a site partner's location. We pay for the infrastructure, we pay the charging station, and we operate the charging station on our own behalf. So it's more or less a sales tool, I would guess, to offer our service to the site partners. Currently, we are also using it as a sales tool to visualize the charging station to potential advertisement partners, so people that book the screen time on the digital advertisement display. But we are, as of yet, not selling our charging station hardware. So we're not really using it to sell the hardware as such, but more or less sell our concept in a sense.
I see, I see. And you mentioned you're also using it for investors, right?
Yes, and it's funny, each time we send out a pitch deck or a customer presentation that contains the QR code and says scan me for a VR or augmented reality experience, always the feedback comes, hey, I saw the QR code, I scanned it. How cool. I was seeing the charging station in my living room or in my office or wherever. It's a part of being very effective in visualizing the concept, visualizing the product. It's also just a cool gimmick, I think, for a lot of people, as the topic is still connected to a lot of innovation and a novelty.
Mm-hmm. Can you maybe put that into a number where you say maybe you got more response since then from investors, from potential clients in advertisement? What's the benefit here in numbers?
Mm-hmm. I would say that it definitely increases the efficiency in our sales process, as we need to explain a lot less. We actually converted the QR code into a bit.ly QR code, so we were able to track the amount of scans, and we could see that there was a lot of interactions each time that we sent out a presentation. So I would say per presentation there were at least 5 scans of the QR code that we have sent out. So that's definitely a good indicator that it's assisting.
Great, great. Very happy to hear that. And I'll definitely let the team know also that the product is used. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. About the future, where do you see augmented reality here playing around a role, especially in B2B sales, as in your case?
If you look at the developments, also with the Apple Vision Pro, that it's something that's here to stay for sure. It's just in a continuously globalized environment, to have a possibility to display something real time, real size, not needing to have it physically present at the location where you are displaying it is such a huge advantage in terms of logistics, which also has environmental benefits that for sure it's here to stay. And in the B2B area where you're talking about heavy machinery, maybe that's an even bigger advantage because you have even more reduce of logistic cost and more possibilities to present and display products in ways that have not been seen before. So yes, I think augmented reality is here to stay. It's going to get bigger every year. The applications are going to become wider. It's going to become more mainstream. Yes, I'm very convinced.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Last but not least, so now imagine I'm not here and nobody at Mazing is here. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about Mazing. How was the collaboration for you? Were you happy with the service Mazing provided here and the process especially?
Yes, very happy to elaborate a bit on that. So we got in touch with you by seeing a LinkedIn post about your service. It went very quick. It was uncomplicated. We had a specific idea of what we would like to receive from your service in terms of the mock-up and what should be able to happen. We went to, I think, one iteration process, which went very quickly and evaluate the lead time from first contact to ready product. I think it was 2 to 3 weeks tops until we were operational and able to have our 3D model of the charging station. So summarized, uncomplicated, quick, and high quality.
Very glad to hear that. Thank you so much, Berend, for being here. And I hope
Cheers.
to see many EV charging stations around the globe, at least digitally.
Very nice. Thank you, Manuel. Pleasure.
Bye-bye.